Hey everyone. Last week, I set out to find the history of record stores in Boston. I found out that as little as 15 years ago, there were over 10 across Massachusetts Avenue. But now there's only 3, and here's their stories.
Cheapo since the mid-70s. The owner started it in, I think, around 75, and he took it over. He initially opened a store, and then he moved to a bigger space that had been a record store called Cambridge Music. Cambridge Music Box, I think, and that had been open since the 40s. So I guess you could say that this has been a record store since the 40s. Yeah, I mean, I think we make most of our money off of records. I still think it, like, every single record sold in the entire world in 1 year is about 1% of the entire music sold. So right. It was hard to call it a resurgence, but there's definitely a lot of collectors still out there. It seems like some new people getting into it too. There's a lot of stores for a long time, and a lot of them, like even 10 years ago, I'd say there's probably 10 stores from here to Harvard Square, just on Mass Ave and around it. Now there's just us here in Central. Weirdo opened up about a year ago, and then there's a couple left up in Harvard, but yeah, it's pretty drastic.
Yeah.
My name's Angela Sawyer. I started Weirdo in my house in 2006, and at first it was kind of a website hobby project. I've worked at record stores around town for about 15 years, and you know, it was just something that I wanted to try and learn, and it was a way for me to, because I'd always worked in a record store, I didn't have a bunch of business seed money, so it was a way for me to start a store a little bit at a time. And it took off a lot faster than I thought it would, actually. And pretty soon I had a room kind of like this, except it had a couch and a TV in it, and people came to my apartment, and it got too big and too crowded, so believe it or not, this tiny little store is the expanded version.
Like, I don't know, in New England, I'd say, if you're coming for some, oddball stuff, like, I came in here looking for, like, a record that if I walked into any other record store, nobody would know what it was, so you're really coming here for what you want in some regards.
Right.
You tend to ask for stuff that's within that medium, so it's a really unique store. This one's pretty awesome.
Thank you, that's really nice. This might be the most specific store in existence. It's super specialized, which is why it's so tiny. But like I said, I think Boston is a really vibrant community for record collecting and for music in general. So it's a place where people are really interested and they want to find out about new records. And, you know, I like being a place where people who are really curious and just want to, like, check stuff out that they have not ever heard about before can come and find a whole room full. So, yeah, it's very specialized. But it works because there's, you know, there are other record stores in town where when people come looking for stuff that I know they'd find there, I'm very happy to send them there, and I feel like they would do the same for me.
Right. That's great. And when you say specialized, do you mean kind of by genre, or?
Partly by genre. I carry a lot of experimental records. Lots of records where people are literally, like, banging on their kitchen pots and pans and yelling. I have free jazz, 20th century classical, noise. So it's not maybe stuff that your grandma would like. But if your grandma is curious, I can find the record for her.
I'm Bill. Been here some 21 some odd years, off and on, 22 years. Store's been here 28 years. 33 years total. Started over on Huntington Ave. For us, it has been vinyl. Vinyl is hip nowadays. People, oh, I hear vinyl's coming back, and everyone seems to think that they have gold in their Montavani records or something. But I got Beatles. Yeah, well, those are the most sold, commodity in the world as far as popular music goes. So it's not that rare. I'm sorry, but kids like it. I think a lot of them like the hip cachet on it. They also like the tangible aspect of having something in their hands. Even with CDs, it was kind of hard with the booklets and stuff. And although a lot of people don't care about the information, there's a fair amount of people who do, and they just like having like this type of history in their hand. There is a significant amount of people who prefer the sound of analog sound to digital sound. Downloads killed it, plain and simple. It's the way it's killing videos. Things changed. Kids nowadays, they have no problems with putting everything onto their iPod or whatever, their phones. It's kind of gone full circle where it used to be in the 50s and 40s and early 60s. It was all singles, one songs, and now it's went to albums and so on and so forth. It's made full circle back to singles again. People only want one or two songs out of music, so, and they really don't care whether it's a high quality, decently compressed piece of music. They want the music itself, period, even if it sounds like hell. So, and that's the most obvious answer, and it's plain and simple. That's the way it is. Even over the last year, it's gotten worse. As far as the future goes, there will be a niche for it. There are people who do prefer it, but I don't know, man.